Welcome to the OFX podcast. I'm Dave Claxton, and along with me is the miniature marvel of impaired mobility. And for her, I used that before, but for you guys, I didn't. So it's still fresh and new. Bethany McChesney. I didn't even say your name. Like you don't have a name anymore. You're just all these other things now.
I'm just alliterations now.
They're not always alliterations. That's a lot of pressure. Sometimes they gotta change a little bit. But how you doing? How's your weekend? Because it was crazy. So what did you actually get in?
Yeah, so I was pretty glued to all the OCRWC coverage. I just love seeing all the exciting obstacles and the new stuff that they come out with. So I was pretty glued to that, and then watching our Canadians at Tahoe as well. So I was kind of going back and forth between the two.
All right, so we'll do a Spartan later on because there's lots to talk about there, and we have our guest that's very relevant to that. So you say you saw the obstacles and stuff. What ones jumped out at you? Because there's some stuff with the obstacles that jumped out at me, both on the good and the bad, but mostly good, mostly good.
Yeah, okay, so I'm blanking on the name now. So Valkyrie goes up, and the one that goes down was called
Canyon.
So that one looks really fun to me. And it was interesting because you don't always know what an obstacle is going to feel like until you get on it. But I was watching a lot of videos of some people really struggling on it and women coming back up from underneath. And it was just really interesting to see. So because again, that obstacle where you go down, you have to go under a bar and you have to be in a really tight tucked position. So you're not able to use your swing anymore. So the momentum's gone. So now you have to start doing pull-ups up the rings. And I think it looked like a fantastic obstacle and totally different than Valkyrie, even though it's like the same thing, just upside down.
That would definitely be one that would favor you, obviously, right? Because compact, right? You could be straight, you could stand straight up underneath. And
I probably could.
But you saw Leon do it. Leon was probably one of the, I don't know if you saw his, but it was one of the smoothest through it. And he's obviously a shorter guy, but he went through nice and smooth. What did you think about, so on the 3K they had it, what did you think about them raising it up for the 15K?
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. If an obstacle takes so many people's bands on a race where they're less fatigued, then ultimately it was probably a good decision. But it really seemed to change the obstacle now because people could swing through it. So now you're taking that element out that kind of made it different than other obstacles where momentum was key. So I mean, I get it. It's fine. But then I saw people just fly through it after that.
Well, it almost became 2 rings and a bell. Because I think they, for a term that I guess my son has taught me, they nerfed it a little too much. It was just, they made it a little too easier. I would have just, if they wanted to make it easier, maybe raise it up, maybe like 6-8 inches, not 20 inches, and then lower the bell as well. I think that was just a bit much. I get where they were going at, though. I mean, they're always trying to get that certain level of completion. And I think if they had kept the bell up and raised it only about 6-8 inches, as opposed to, I think they went 20 to 22 inches. That's
pretty significant now.
That's massive. And I joked that you could have been straight up underneath the other one, but this one you probably could have, just lift the knees and gone through. So I think that was a bit much, but they want that level of completion and, they do what they can to get it. So they know better than us.
Yeah.
Other than that, did any of the other obstacles grab you? Because for me, I thought Ricochet.
That looked really fun.
Yeah. Just a great twist on something old and basic,
Yeah, again, you're kind of just dealing with rings, but you completely change the dynamic of the obstacle. And I was kind of watching too, because again, with my reach being so small and women had to really stretch out, but I think that it was still completely within everybody's capabilities. You just had to really push off of that wall. But I loved that obstacle. That one looked really fun.
I think one of the things a lot of people missed was just which hand you start with. Leading with the right hand so that you're facing the correct direction when you're trying to bounce off that board.
Oh yeah.
Because they'd end up looking the wrong way and trying to bounce and then having to switch hands. And it looked like a lot of fun. I was amazed that it caused a lot of issues. It did cause some stuff. Yeah, there was a lot of people that struggled with it. A lot of people that would fail the first time and stuff. Mm-hmm. Then of course they had pendulum. And that was,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Pendulum, I think, will be forever famous for the Kempson pass.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God. It was just so quick. He came out of nowhere.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And
And that's an obstacle too that really rewards taking risks.
And I think normally you would have saw Logan take a little more risk. I don't think he saw Kempson coming at all. And was
Yeah.
like, I'm going to be safe and secure. And Kempson just dove through.
Yeah. Yeah. It was amazing.
That was exciting. So when we start with the women's race, we'll start with the women's 3K. And I mean, we're just gonna dabble here because we do have a guest coming later. But
yeah,
how'd you feel the 3K went for the women? Did it go as you thought it would? Did you have Lindsay to win?
I mean, I would never have counted Lindsay out, but I was kind of thinking it'd be a little bit closer with her and Rose. Rose definitely has that leg speed. And it was really tight there with Rose and Lindsay, but Lindsay did come out on top. So I know Rose took a few good tumbles in that race too. So I don't know if that kind of got her off her rhythm a little bit. That stuff happens though in OCR, and I know she's used to it and kind of mentally getting right back into it. But yeah, ultimately, I don't think anyone's ever surprised if Lindsay wins. I was with Ida. I know Ida is so strong on obstacles, so I was kind of expecting her to give Lindsay a little bit more of a push with that one too. But I think with the travel, and she's been away from home now, it's probably been 3 weeks just with her 2-week quarantine and everything else. So you don't always know how that kind of stuff plays in people. So
I actually had picked Ida to win. I thought because originally it was supposed to be pouring rain. Lindsay has had not the greatest year when it comes to technical obstacles. And I thought that in the 3K, there may actually be some more technical obstacles. I thought you might see Gibbons in there and stuff like that. So originally when I thought Ida would win, that was kind of my case. And then it ended up being beautiful, perfect, dry weather. It just really played into it. Went from everything was going to be in Ida's favor to all of a sudden everything is now in Lindsay's favor.
Yeah.
And, you know, to Lindsay's credit, as always, she just ran a great race. She was fantastic. Mm-hmm. But that's it. Did you see Ida at the finish line?
When she overtook Rose?
No. Just after the race.
Well, I heard there was some dehydration issues and she might have passed out or.
She was pretty close. They had to carry her away from the finish line. She, like, left it all out there for a 3K. She really went after it.
Wow.
So, I mean, that was cool. And then, yeah, she had that pass on Rose at
Ricochet.
Yeah. And I just says like how much that efficiency helped on that obstacle.
Yeah. Ida's so smooth moving through obstacles. And when you watch her, she just has it nailed down, and just that body awareness in space and changing directions. And she just has that down.
Yeah, she was fantastic. And like I said, I was amazed watching her. She did a great job. I was really impressed. But Lindsay's just Lindsay. She's just unreal. Then if we go for the women's 15K, again, I thought it was a great race. And I was obviously on the broadcast. The biggest excitement for me, and we didn't get to see it because we were watching we were watching the finish of the men's race at this time. So we're watching Ryan Kempson finish off and win his first championship. And in the process, I had this little camera in the corner that everybody else couldn't see, watching Lindsay struggle again and again and again on Lagaff. And she must have been there for 2 minutes. So she lost. And that's what I mean. We wanted to show it, but at the same time, you got to show the end of the race.
Oh, why? How was she struggling on the gaff?
A lot of people struggled with this. They were struggling they were getting from pole to pole, but then they were struggling getting the pole to move. And I mean, we spoke about it. We've got a lot of experience in there. Bracken and I, especially, were talking about it, whereas you need to get off the one pole onto the next one with momentum so that you bring it with you, use your weight to advantage. And most people were just kind of climbing onto the next one and then trying to jerk it over. And it was a struggle, but that was the point at that point of the race where Lindsay, she lost a lot of her lead, but then when Rose got there, she had the same issues.
Oh.
And Ida got on there and one time through. And then that's where that all changed. So I mean, that was interesting. I do hope that they next time in the planning stage, maybe they put like AF back down in the festival area because it still seems to get some people. And there was a lot of rings in the festival area. It was a lot of ring.
Something a little different.
Little shake up, but I mean, it's not the end of the world. It's for nitpicking over crap because this was an amazing race, but that was good. So yeah, that was exciting. And to me, the person who impressed me most in the women's field was Chris Verglowski. I mean, just she's racing everything, every distance, everywhere. It seems like every weekend.
Yeah, she does ultras too. She does Savage. Yeah. And she's still really young. Like, I find someone to be, I don't know how old she is now. I'm going to say 22, 23. To be doing ultras at such a young age and coming back unscathed and fine, and then racing an obstacle course race not that long after. I just find that super impressive and just shows her overall durability and strength as an athlete.
Well, and every minute she wasn't racing, she was volunteering.
Yeah, so she's not getting off her feet. Recovering in between. Like, it's a kind of exhausting to standing around doing that. Like,
and especially there, like, it's such high energy in some of those spots with so many people going through those difficult obstacles.
She's 24.
She's 24 apparently.
Oh, 24.
Pretty good, 24. But yeah, I was just super impressed with her as an athlete, as a person. You know, she's my person of the week. So, like,
she did all 3 distances, right?
Yeah, she did, and she was like competitive everywhere. She was in the mix.
So. Yeah, and always seems really happy too, smiling, cheering people on, good attitude about it.
Yeah, she's exactly what we need. All right, so for the men's, 3K started off, and I think this would probably be the race that went most according to plan.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone doubted that VJ was going to win the 3K.
No. Probably the only question remains is, would he still win if Atkins and John Albin were there? And I'll tell you right now, I think yes.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, and
I think the bigger question would have been more so maybe if Leon had been at the top of his game.
Yeah, I mean, Leon got 7th when he really
hasn't been running.
No, like I didn't expect him in the top 10. Honestly, I was like, and I'd been joking with him before when I was still thinking I was going. I'm like, great, Leon, you can pace me. Like, you can hang at the back of the pack with me and pace me along. And he himself, like, if he could have pushed that downhill the way he normally would, wow, it would have been tight. I still think VJ gets it. I think his running is just so good. And I don't think the obstacles were technical enough that Leon could have made up the ground that VJ could take with the running. It's not. But so that one went according to plan. So then the 15K for the men, that was a little more.
That was a lot of back and forth, actually. It was an exciting race to watch because really you couldn't have predicted when the race went off who was going to take that one.
No, and it looked like VJ was gonna do the doubling, looked in completely control. And then all of a sudden, coming up that second climb, it was like, where did he go?
Yeah.
All of a sudden, Logan's up front and Igor's chasing him and Kempson's there and VJ's down back and 4th and 5th. And it's like, oh my, just gone. Did you at all think, was Kempson on your radar to win this one at all?
I probably could have put him in the top 3 for sure.
Yeah. And I believe I did. I believe I had him 3rd.
Okay.
I did not see him beating either. I believe when I did my picks, I had VJ, Logan, Kempson. I think. Could be wrong, but I know I definitely did not have Kempson in 1st.
Yeah. And
wow, just because he's had a year that I'm going to say mediocre by his standards.
Yes. Yeah.
So I thought, I just assumed that would continue on as it was. I didn't see this, especially the finish, like the amount of energy he had going into that final section, just a push.
Yeah. I think he played to his own race strategy really, really well and didn't get wrapped up in the excitement of the start of the race. I think he knows he's someone who can take these massive risks on these more technical obstacles. And as long as he was within striking distance, if he could take things over in that last bit.
So again, and then the team race. The team race was a little diluted a bit this year. Really, it didn't seem like there was a lot of. There were some fun teams to watch, but it didn't. Just because of the lack of people, So it's hard, and then everybody had to be from the same country on the teams. So
which is really difficult.
It was nice to see Team Denmark and them do well. That was great. That's a good team. Jack Bauer, Benny, and I'm sorry, I'm gapping on the woman that ran with them. They did well too. But you weren't going to touch, what was it, VJ, Logan, and Drew. They were untouchable. But the team one maybe lacked a little luster this year, but still looked like a ton of fun. Did you see anything of the 100-meter?
I did. I saw some of the men's highlights.
All right.
I didn't see the women's. Was it a young girl that won the women's?
14 years old.
Wow.
And she faced Ida in the final.
Oh my goodness, that's so exciting.
She was clearly a young ninja girl. She knew her stuff. She was crazy. What'd you think of it? Because this would be like kind of the first time it's been here. It's very different. And it wasn't at all like the one they had back in 2019 in London. It was a very different setup. So,
it's shocking how fast people go through it. But to me, it kind of seemed like if you could jump, you did well. Because some of these obstacles were just completely skipped. If you could leap far enough to just hit the bell, and you'd skip the obstacle. So I think when you look at obstacle planning, maybe the obstacles could have been a little bit more difficult, in that you actually had to engage with the obstacle to complete it.
Are you telling me that there needs to be a rule for significant engagement?
No, but the obstacle being designed that you can't avoid significant engagement.
Yeah, I do think that next time maybe they need to take a few lessons from some of the ninja competitions, because this is the kind of thing they've run into lots of times.
Yeah.
And definitely when I saw it, I was like, oh yeah, they're gonna fly, because the rigs were like 10 feet long, and they're just a little too
you can grab once, hit the bell, so you're not even really doing the obstacles.
Well, actually, I think it was right around near the end where they made that final corner, Benny versus VJ. Benny didn't grab anything. He just jumped from one side and hit the bell on the other. I thought this was really good for Benny though, because sometimes Benny gets a bit of grief, He's not a duck, but he's a good guy, and this really showed that he's got some great athletic ability and he can haul. So I was happy to see it.
Was he a long jumper in university or something?
I don't know. He's a pretty tall dude and he's pretty athletic. What did you think of Joe Moravsky showing up?
That was awesome. So my first year at OCRWC, I met Michelle Warnke.
Jamie Ron was there too.
She was at?
Jamie Ron, he was there as well that year.
Oh, okay. And I was like, this is so cool, because it is kind of this world where our worlds can combine. And the 100 meter is perfect for people that come from Ninja Warrior to come and compete in it. And there's prize money. And I was starstruck when I met her, and we had a little talk, and I was like, that was so cool. And he's a pretty big name in that world too.
Oh, he's arguably the best. Well, until all the teenagers came in this year. But no, he's fantastic. He's super smooth and so good. And I've had a few conversations with him online, always been great, engaging, and nice guy. So I was super surprised and just like, oh, wow, to see him there. And again, kudos to Benny and VJ, because they pushed, they pushed him, and that was after them spending all weekend on the mountain.
Yeah.
And Joe coming in fresh. So, hats off to them.
Get more of them. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, I would, again, I think that maybe this opens the door, because you're seeing Joe talk about it online. You're seeing him, post about a comment. I'm seeing him comment on VJ's stuff now. And
oh, that's cool.
So hopefully this opens the door, and maybe next year that 100 meter might be really competitive.
Yeah. And we better up the obstacle game a little bit.
And watch out for those teenagers, because did you see American Ninja Warrior this year at all?
No.
I was a little behind, so it took me a while. I finally caught up and through it. And man, if you're over 17, you're over the hill now.
Oh boy.
These kids are killing it. They're just amazing.
Well, this is a world now they're growing up in.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so different. And I've said this too about OCR. Like my kids are growing up in a world where OCR has always existed. Whereas my generation, most of us in OCR, we are previous athletes in something else. And we've transitioned to this. Whereas kids now, they've grown up in that world where it's always been.
Yeah. And like, I mean, look at my son is grown up in the ninja world. He started doing ninja when he was 12, 13 years old. And now he coaches and stuff. And you put him in the 3K or the 15K, and I'm not betting on him for anything. He's going to walk it. But, you know, I'm betting he might make it back for dinner, but you put him on that 100-meter course there, and he's going to contend with the big boys. And that's what I'm saying. You're exactly right. These kids are growing up with it, and I think it's going to make it more and more exciting.
Yeah.
I think that 100 meter is going to be a real deal.
Yeah.
And definitely so streamable, so presentable.
Yeah.
That
spectator friendly. Yeah. Which is one thing the sport kind of lacks being run in the mountains.
So next year, if you big boys are not presenting this, we will. So you better do it. All right. Well, I think now we've gone enough, and there's 1,000 other things that we didn't get to touch on that we'll probably have to do another show to touch on.
Yeah.
But time is of a premium, and we got to get to our guest, because super exciting to have with us Emma Cook-Clarke, coming off her big win at Spartan North American Championships.
Hello.
Sorry, we're actually just talking about Lindsay.
Oh, cool. Awesome. Well, carry on. I'll just be here.
We were just saying, because Beth asked if kind of the rumors about her taking a break and stuff were true. And I'm like, well, I don't know if you heard about it, but it's not really a rumor. She was on an interview with Matt, and she said that next year she's going to kind of wind it down and shut it down a bit, maybe just do a race here and there. She wants to start thinking about having kids and getting a business, you know, moving on and stuff like that. So yeah, that's the whole deal. And I think she's one of those people that ended up being like, she loves obstacle course racing, but I think it was one of those things she never expected to be that good at. And then all of a sudden it's there. And so, I mean, you
keep winning.
You can't let that go to waste. You got to roll with that when you got an opportunity.
Yeah.
But I think her heart always kind of lied in the family realm. Like that was what she wanted to do. That was her
homemaking and
right. And like all the other activities that her and Ryan both love doing, whether it's just running in the mountains or biking or skiing, like it's sometimes nice to be able to focus on those other things instead of having to only, you know, commit everything to obstacles.
Yeah.
It was almost like she's one of those people who so gifted and yet can compete so well and still didn't seem to have that competitive nature. It was, I can't understand it and whatever, but I mean, she's just amazing. And, you know, let's just say it'll be an open door for some people. Oh, like Emma Cook-Clarke. Hey, hi, how are you?
Well, I hope that Lindsay sticks around for a little while longer. She's like still pushing the limits of the sport so much that it would be, you know, great to see her continue to do that. But I completely understand that she might feel like a break. So that's all good too.
And I don't think it means she's done forever. I mean, right. when I chose to have kids, I was like, I don't know, I'm not gonna make plans for what's gonna happen after. But then you feel it in your heart if you want to keep doing it or not after.
Right. Yeah. Cool.
When I chose to have kids, I just went, crap, what the hell was that?
Whoops. Well, I hope they're listening.
Usually. No, they probably aren't, actually. They rarely do. And they're old now. They take care of themselves. I don't know where they are.
Nice. That's convenient.
Yeah. So I guess first thing we need to do is say congratulations.
Thanks.
I feel you are now blessed. Like, yeah, I guess you decided that 3 rodeos is the appropriate number of rodeos to win the championship.
3 times the charm. I don't know.
Did you going in? Did you know that you were a favorite to do it? Did you think you could win it?
I don't really know. I didn't think much about it, actually. I don't know. It's nice to not put much expectation on things and not much pressure. And I still am at such like a stage where I don't know what my body can do, or I don't know how I'll perform on obstacles or just on like a different style of event. So I didn't really know. It could have really varied, you know, if I had have slipped off just a few of those obstacles, that would have like dramatically changed the course of the race. Or if the cramping had have been worse and I was walking the whole second half, that would have changed it too. So I really think that, it really just like depends on the day. And just because I had a great day on Saturday doesn't mean that I could have had a less, not finished in that position.
So let's just start with getting to the race and the issues you had. So how, just flying there, was it easy? Like, did the flight there and everything, was that okay? Did you get across the border all right? Because we know
that was fine. Yeah.
So then,
no, it's not bad. And the COVID testing to go down there is like quite simple. You get the results really quickly and it's quite inexpensive. So that was all good.
Okay. And then what happened that wasn't so good?
I debated like sharing about that, but it's kind of funny. So in the end, I decided to. But so my mom and dad came down as well because my brother lives just outside of San Francisco with his girlfriend. They've been down there for a few years now, just through work. And so we drove from the San Francisco airport in my rental car to their place. And we just planned to visit for like a quick hour. And then we were all heading out together. They were going to drive their vehicle as well. And so we got there and I paid for 1 hour of parking on the street because they only have one spot in their parkade. And my mom said like, oh, should we like bring this stuff in or at least try and cover it? And I said, no way. Like, what? It's midday. It's a busy street. We're fine. Like, I love people. Why would they harm us? So we left all of our luggage in the back. And then as we were about to go, my brother looked out the window and he basically just like collapsed into the couch. I felt so bad because he like, blamed himself for it. But somebody had come and stolen all of our stuff from the back. And it's super common there. It happens like very often, unfortunately. So, but I should have brought my passport in with me. I didn't. But I got to the car and I looked in the trunk and it was this like, I had this small like carry-on bag that was black and they must have just like not had enough hands to grab it or it blended in or whatever. So it was left in the car. And so I got to the car and I like celebrated so much. And everyone before they got there, they're like, what, is it there? And I was like, well, no, but like we all have our passports. So that was the main
I've been
thing.
robbed.
I know, best day ever. No, so it really like it could have been so much worse. And even just like the quick visit that we had with my brother and his girlfriend, like even if that was all that the weekend was, it still would have been worth it. So like small inconvenience, but everything like worked out really well given that.
Where do they live? Because like if this is a frequent thing, I just want to know if I ever end up there, like to,
Yeah, I know. Yeah. So they live in Oakland, which like
it
is common. I know. But it also is really nice. So I can't fully fault them for living there. It's even there is like ridiculously expensive to rent. So
yeah, we're not even gonna get into rental property.
I know. Yeah.
So you lost all your running gear.
Yeah, I did.
So,
yeah, but I just was I was really mostly just trying to focus on like staying calm and relaxed and like remembering to eat and drink because I knew that it was going to make the day longer on that Thursday to like sort everything out and then drive up and stuff. So I just tried to like stay relaxed and positive because that's like what was going to harm me more than anything.
Yeah, I probably would have had a meltdown. I'm sorry.
I was just thinking that I wouldn't want to be around Bethany if that happened to her. I would like go hide in the corner and just let her rage.
I mean, I think if I was tired, I probably would have had a meltdown for sure. But no, my biggest concern was obviously the passport and wallet, but also the running stuff. But it worked out so well because Nicole had like brought everything extra just in case. She was like, oh, by the way, I've got like running belts in case anyone wants to try one of those. And I've got socks and like she brought extra hydration bladders. So in that sense, it like couldn't have worked out any better because I didn't have to buy anything before the race. Like I looked for underwear, but I couldn't find any. So other than that, like everything I needed was provided. So that was perfect.
So it was just Nicole's traveling magic closet that helped you.
Yeah, pretty much. And then she had ordered a pair of the VJ Mac shoes for me, but she got them sent to I think Steve Hammond in Tahoe. So those arrived. So I had shoes to wear. I borrowed Ariel Fitzgerald's shorts that she had.
I saw the post about that.
Oh yeah.
That was funny.
And then, yeah, other than that, Nicole had everything.
That's insane. And like the fact that it's like Bethany said, that like this kind of stuff can really rattle people and throw them off.
Yeah. It was
such a
so nice having my family there. Like my brother William and his girlfriend like were super helpful in helping like drive me around to do rental car things or like use their phone because I didn't have service down there. So yeah, having like supportive people around was certainly helpful.
That's true.
You get to the race and then, you know, off we go. You get to start line and you set off. You took this out again. You went out fast and went out first. How were you feeling during the run? Did all this stuff now is washed away and you're just focused on the run? And
yeah, it was so nice down there. Holy cow, it's so beautiful. Being at a spot that I've seen so many like winter videos of people skiing. It's a legendary spot. So to be there in the summer and like have the opportunity to race and work hard was so cool. So yeah, I was just like taking it all in and loving it. I think that's the nice thing about a bit of a longer race like these ones too, is like you have time to look around. You're not just redlining the entire time. Mm-hmm. And so that's what I try and remind myself on the first climb, like don't get too excited and carried away. There's plenty of time to like hurt later. So I just tried to go at like a comfortable pace for me. Like tried to simmer it down, but not like just go very slowly.
So two things, and actually this is almost a question for both of you. How did it feel when you heard that they would not be water, meaning no swim and no water obstacles? And then Bethany, how pissed off were you that there was water when you had to do it?
I don't understand.
Oh man, were you there in 2019? Is that the year?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that sounds amazing. Amazingly hard.
Awful.
Oh gosh, that's so impressive. Yeah, it is funny that it wasn't this year. Like this year would have been the perfect year because it was so hot and dry. But they can't predict that going in. I was honestly kind of indifferent. I was excited about the swim. I thought that'd be kind of like fun, change it up. And that's like largely what I love about these races is how different they are. Like everything's always changing and you can't predict how you're going to feel after you do something. So I was like, yeah, I wasn't like super upset, but I also wasn't super excited either. It's kind of nice in some ways not having those like muddy dunk walls. I find those are a bit like gross sometimes. And yeah, you're just like, they mess with your rhythm, which is good in some ways, but they're a bit bizarre. And like jumping into an unknown spot, like with unknown footing, I'm never all that comfortable with it. Just because you can do some damage pretty quickly.
That's how Rylan broke his heel.
Yeah, broke his. Yeah, it's brutal.
I think
but it was. Anyway. I think the nicer thing for me was that it was like dry and not humid, and that just made it a lot easier on the bar type obstacles that I still need work on.
So as you went up at the top of the climb was a spear throw. Obviously this is something you're still working on, you're still new with, and everybody struggles with it. Everyone, even some of the bester people, it's a 50-50 shot. Were you thinking in your head, because you were pulling away at that point, that I need to get enough of a lead that if I miss my spear, I can still stay competitive?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know if it was specifically about the spear, but just in general, like just do what you can when you can so that you can make up for the things that you can't do. So I wasn't like dwelling on it in my mind. Oh no, I'm going to miss a spear, therefore I have to get a gap. I just tried to do what was like smart and comfortable, still keeping in mind that it was a long race. And even if I failed the spear and some other things, hopefully I'd still have enough time like fire underneath me to to pick up the slack from that.
Yeah, because that was the point when Annie caught back up to you. So she made her spear. Incident. Yeah. Her spear was, I'm not trying to knock Annie. She's amazing. That was the luckiest spear I've ever seen.
I know.
I
know.
Side of it. Like you couldn't do that if you tried a million times.
I know. When she was describing it to us afterwards, we were like, what, Annie? How is that possible? Are you delusional? Like in the side of it? And then sure enough, that's what happened. But no, it was so perfect actually that, well, I obviously am happy for Annie, very happy, but I loved that she made it and I didn't, because it was so fun to run together up top and to be like on the obstacles at the top. It was really cool.
Well, and it gave that great back and forth. I mean, you would pull away a little bit on the run, and then you'd see it like on some of the obstacles where she would just, Annie flows
destroy.
Good. She looks good on those obstacles.
Yeah.
She's got some, all right, she smoked. She kicked your ass on the obstacle. Let's just say. But it was that great back and forth, and I always love that battle when it's the obstacle person versus the runner, and it was fun to see. You did, however, do really, really well on the Tyrolean Traverse.
Oh
yeah, you smoked that. That was like, and I think Makita commented that was the first one we saw you actually were faster than her on. It looked really good.
Thanks. Yeah, that and maybe a few of the carries, but the bar ones I still need to work on some technique and confidence and proficiency on them. But I also was just like really wanting to not fall off, so took things a little conservative maybe.
Well, I think if we look back to, I guess it was Asheville you raced before, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you had quite a few failures in Asheville. And this race, it was just a spear throw, wasn't it? That was your only miss?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a good race. That's fantastic. Even if you took your time on the obstacles, that's still great. You wore gloves this time.
Yeah, on some of the things. Yeah, Nicole had lent me some Gorilla Grip gloves.
See, told you they were the Gorilla Grip gloves. They're the best ones you can buy from Home Depot for this.
Good, nice. Yeah, they felt good. I'm not sure because everything was dry. I don't know if they were like necessary, but.
So why do you wear gloves then?
Okay, so why did Nicole suggest to wear them?
Yeah.
I think like mostly for if it was wet and cold, that seems to be where like most of the benefit is made, but sounds like, I don't know, some people might wear them all the time. Maybe it's preference. For me, I think it was like okay, we had talked about these fancy Gorilla Grip gloves. I want to not fall off things. I'm going to wear them and trust that like by putting this thing on my hand, it's going to make it easier and I'm going to stick on like a gorilla. So I think it was more like a mental thing. And I think that's probably why I ended up having them on for Olympus. Some people afterwards were like, why do you wear them on Olympus? It's like, I don't know.
Yeah, because you kind of got them stuck.
Oh, yeah. I pinched the one with my other hand. Still need to work on Olympus for sure.
The thing with the gloves, I wear them a lot often, but I wear them to protect my hands in between the technical obstacles.
Oh, cool.
I'll wear them like over walls, and I'll wear them on Olympus too, because that's another one where the rough edges can cause your hands to tear. And in a really hot day like you guys had, I would wear them too on the bars because the bars get so hot that they actually melt.
Oh, ew. Oh,
that's why I'm a glove geek.
Okay.
He's a shoe geek, and
cool.
I've never worn gloves ever.
Wow.
But Dave swears by them. Dave has a collection.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's great if you don't need them.
Well, I don't know if I don't need them. I just never wear them.
And I try to tell people they're a lot like shoes. There's a time and a place for every one of them, right? You got a right shoe for the right time. You got the right glove for the right time. Yeah. And if you wear the wrong one at the wrong time, it's going to go really bad.
Right. Yeah. So, makes sense.
Yeah, and just your thing. Yeah. You going across Olympus and put the one hand on top of the other. Normally you can slip out when it's just your hand. When that glove, it didn't work, but you were so composed.
Yeah. Thanks.
Like, oh, look, my glove has fallen off. I shall fix it and then carry on. So how did you feel, Jean, just getting across the line? I mean, we noticed that was the best kick you had? Like you started sprinting across that line.
Yeah.
Were you excited? Had it sunk in, what you'd done?
A little bit, but I think like during the race, you're focused on what you're doing, which is competing, but you're not focused on, for me at least, I wasn't like, I'm competing at the North American Spartan Championships. It's like, I'm competing in a race. Like it's me and it's Annie and it's Rhea and it's Alex and it's Ariel and it's Lauren. It's like, we're all just in this race together. And so same with at the finish line, like, it's not like I'm like, wow, this is like extra special, it just like, it was awesome to be able to finish it. And there was a time like going up that second climb where like everything started cramping on my legs, and I'm not that like used to that. So it kind of freaked me out. I was like, is this going to just get way worse and totally everything's going to lock up and I'm going to have to walk it in and like say bye to 20 people that passed me? Or is this going to like be okay and I can run it off? So like there was no point in the race that I was like, oh, I can relax, or oh, I've got this, or oh, I'm winning. Like it was always this interesting, like, let's see what happens. Keep going. So yeah, I was definitely just like really happy to get over that line and get over it feeling pretty healthy, and knowing that Annie was really close behind as well. I was like, in my head, I was kind of hoping that she would like catch me or pass me and win, because she's just like been doing so well, not just this year, but for a long time. And I like look up to her a lot. And as a teammate and friend too, it's like, it'd be so fun to see her succeed. And so yeah, anyway, I was happy.
Well, I was going to ask how much respect you gained going head to head with Annie here, but there's no need to do that. So, I mean, it's obvious she is fantastic and seems like just a great person. How was it again for the three of you? So the three of you on the dream team, you're all racing together. And I mean, obviously the more and more the season has gone on, the more it looks like Nicole knows exactly what she's doing. How does that feel, the three of you? Like, do you work together? Is it, because I mean, this is kind of the first real separate team, real that I would think that I could come. I mean, I don't know if you can think of another one, Bethany, where there's been kind of that team unity. How does that work with all you guys together? Is it, have you guys bonded? Has it been helpful?
Absolutely helpful. Yeah. I think for like, I've spent most time with Ariel because we're both in Calgary, and that's been like tremendous. It's like, she's a new best friend, but we're also like doing this same thing together. So we've got lots to share notes about, which is great. And then being down there and meeting Nicole in person, and also getting to spend more time with Annie. Like we all had a house that we rented just outside of the area, and it was so special to spend time together. And it like took some of the attention off the race, because we just got to like laugh and share stories and get to know each other a little bit more. And then also it was really helpful, like going into the race, to have everybody there to talk about, oh, what are you wearing? And instead of just like you in your own room, like, oh, I don't know what to wear, it's so exciting. You'd have like these great opinions from everybody. So to have Nicole there give her input, and then Annie, and then Ariel, because everyone is ultimately fairly different in what they need and prefer. So anyway, it's just been awesome and definitely helpful having something like this to be part of. I think it definitely helps going into a new sport where like everyone's new, but yet not everyone's new to me, but a lot of those people like know each other pretty well. That can be kind of intimidating, but to kind of have this other means to get to be close with people has been really special. And then during the race as well, like it reminds me a little bit of cross country days when you've got your team of like 5 to 7 and you're all competing, and yeah, you're still like going against each other in some way, but you're doing it as a team. So like, hopefully you can still be competitive, but like in a supportive way. And you can bring each other up. There's this sign at the Spartan venue that I took a photo of that I really liked. And it was like, if you want to lift yourself up, like lift other people up or something. that not quite. It was more nicely worded than that, but I just think that's like such a great principle, and it's completely what Nicole is doing. And if she can lead that way, then other people will be able to lead as well at different levels and follow along. And yeah, I really think that that's like how we perform best, is not by like tearing each other apart, throwing each other under the bus, or like, you know, trying to reveal something about somebody that you don't like. Like if we can just be supportive and try and be happy for each other and be like empowered by the results of other people, even if it means that they are like, they perform better than you, then I think that will allow like the individual and the sport to grow as much as possible.
Yeah, it's interesting because when being a varsity athlete as well, cross country just was always my most favorite between cross country and track. And it was definitely the team aspect, because although running is an individual sport, cross country, because all your points get together as a team, it's the one time when each person on your team that you're racing, but the better they do, you do as well as a team. And it was something really special that when I graduated from university, I really, really missed that. And it's hard that when you get out to the racing world outside of collegiate sport, you don't really get that anymore. So you kind of have that now with what you have with these girls, and your success and their success, it works together, and the better they do, the better you do. And that's just so rare, I think, in an individual sport that you get something like that. So I think that's really special. And I love hearing how you guys have bonded that way.
Yeah, definitely. I'm excited, Ariel, and I try and convince them to come up this way, and we can do like a training camp in the mountains or something and hang out. Cause definitely a bunch of special people. Mm-hmm. And that's not just specific to the dream team. Like everyone down there down at this race is pretty incredible, and it'd be nice to get more time all together.
I was super impressed with the B team.
Yeah, I know.
I saw those shirts and I was like, I want to buy one. I need to buy one of those shirts. That's fantastic. I was dying laughing.
I love it.
I know, they're good. Yeah, they're awesome.
And yeah, I mean, Alex Walker on the B team is
yeah.
Or other girls in different seasons too, right? Like Ashley Heller,
yeah, they're great. And that's an amazing sense of humor. And just I honestly, if they did sell, I will buy them. I will definitely wear one. I know.
Well, they could like use it as a nice fundraiser. But yeah, it's so funny. Yeah.
Awesome. So do you guys have specific orders when Nicole's comes back that you're not allowed to pass her? Is that the rule though? Like,
Well, I'm not allowed to tell you that.
Good. That's okay, but you cannot pass the coach.
Yeah, no, we'll just help push her along.
This is part of their non-disclosure agreement.
Yes, exactly. So she made you sign that just so that you could get her shoes, right? She's like,
I just won't race the races she's in. Don't worry.
So speaking of races, so what's next? Are you going to make it to? Are you going to go to Abu Dhabi? Are you going to do Telluride? What are we going to do?
I think Abu Dhabi. Something crossed my mind, and I was like excited about maybe trying Telluride. I was like, wow, 24-hour race, that'd be awesome. Let's go. And then in the race, I kind of like felt something in my hip, and I was like, whoa, what are you thinking? Like, sure, you might have like the head space for it, and your muscles might like kind of be okay, but that doesn't mean like everything else can handle it. So chill out and do it another time. I was thinking of maybe doing a trail race in Squamish in mid-October, but even that, things are just like a little bit rushed. So I might just enjoy being around home in the mountains more. It's really nice at this time of year, and then focus on work as well. And then, kind of maybe plan for Abu Dhabi. It seems kind of crazy to travel that far, but at the same time, what a neat chance to go somewhere so different.
I think it'd be an amazing experience.
Yeah.
Like Beth used to live out there, so.
Really?
I lived in Dubai for a few years. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
So send me a message before you go.
Yeah, definitely. Was that recently or a while ago?
So that was it. Just over. It was 10 years ago-ish now.
Cool. Wow. That's so neat.
Mm-hmm.
What a different place.
Yeah. So I would love to go back if I was racing for sure. That was the plan if I was racing. I still have friends there. So yeah.
Things are looking like they need a bit more time for you.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Yeah.
I think they could end up having it there 2 years in a row, so you might still be in luck.
Yeah.
Head back to the desert.
Yeah, definitely.
So we noticed also that you have jumped into OCR stars.
Yeah.
Do you actually know what you're in for?
Not really, no. They've been like trying to get more women involved. So I was like, okay, I'll do that thing. So we'll see. I'll do what I can, but I don't think I'm like specifically training for it. But I'll just continue my training for work and for this and see how it goes, but mostly like a fun thing.
Well, again, just to praise Bethany, she was 3rd place last year in OCR stars.
Whoa, what?
So Lauren, Ida, and then me.
Okay, wow.
I had a blast with it last year. There was nothing going on, so we just went full force into OCR stars, and it was awesome. It was a really good competition.
That's awesome. Congrats. I apologize. I need to look into it a little bit more, and I'll go look up last year and fangirl you.
It's looking interesting because you already released what the first workout is.
Oh yeah, the run.
The 3-mile run.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean,
so last year was a 6 mile, which definitely worked in my favor.
Right.
Yeah, last year was two gym type workouts, a 6 mile and a 1 mile.
Oh wow. Quick.
So this year, what we know so far is a 1 mile, something to do with deadlifts.
Yeah.
And something to do with pull-ups as well, is what I've heard. So
perfect. Well, maybe you guys could, Beth, you could enter in the non-running ones.
I think I might. Yeah. I could probably fake it for the runs.
No.
No. we won't let you. I know it's so hard.
I know.
But anyway, do you have anything else for Emma for tonight, Beth?
No, that was great. It's so great to catch up with you, Emma. We're super proud of you for your results there in Tahoe. You ran an amazing race.
Thanks. Thank you so much for asking to have me on. I was so excited to talk with you guys. My favorite Canadians. I feel like family.
Oh, anytime whatsoever. And hopefully after a lot more wins and a lot more podiums.
Okay. Wow. We'll see about that.
and a lot less crime. That would be better.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I like kept my passport bag so close to me the rest of that weekend. People were like, you can like leave that, right? I'm like, no, I can't. I'm gonna race with it.
That's what was actually in the belt, wasn't it? It was a passport.
Yeah.
And the bladder
exactly.
and then a passport.
Yeah, you got it. Okay, thank you so much. Nice to see you both.
Thank you, Emma. Talk to you soon.
Bye. Yeah.